there's two rules in trading. First rule is don't fight the Fed. And the second rule is see rule number 1. So yesterday, we had the first interest rate hike since 2018, pretty much baked in the cake from an earlier testimony. Powell already said he was going to raise a quarter of a point. So that was baked into the market. But it was his comments that the market was looking for following that. And, I try not to listen to these things because they, kind of filter into my thinking. And to my mind, it's not really so much the news or what people are saying, it's how the market is responding. But notwithstanding, I had him on in the background, and I was kind of struck by how hawkish he was. He said they're going to go 7 times this year. They're also going to do a balance sheet runoff, which is also equivalent to a rate hike. And typically, when you get the combination, that's pretty heady stuff. So there's an old rule, and there's 2 rules in trading. First rule is don't fight the Fed. And the second rule is see rule number 1. So basically, when the Fed's at your back, as it was since COVID, we had this enormous rally. So kind of counterintuitively, when the whole world is falling apart, people are asking, well, how in the hell does the markets keep going from 2019 all the way up here where the NASDAQ basically triples? And it's really the Fed. The Fed dumped $10 trillion of liquidity. So they basically estimated what was being taken out of the economy by COVID and the supply and the whole thing and just put it back. And so this is where you had just a rising tide, where you have the wind at your back and you're not fighting the Fed. Now, this is a different story. Now the Fed, for the next 2 years, is going to be in our face, raising rates, monitoring the markets, et cetera. Again, I try not to, or I don't like to have this stuff, filter in, but there's just, this is an environment where this is not 2020 again, where, we see Zoom at, $90, and it's entirely possible Zoom can rally to $120 here. Entirely possible. I mean, look at this thing. When something is this worked over, I mean, for it to go from 100 to 120 is not really a leap. So, there's all of these kind of opportunities, but by and large, and I'm not against doing these scoop out plays, but typically when I do a scoop out play, I like to see some kind of pattern, some kind of justification. And even here, where you thought you had a pattern, it lasted 2 days and you were right back into the chop again. And this is my fear right now, where there's a lot of shiny objects where, like Roku and Zoom, you can make very quick 10%, kind of bursts. But it's kind of then what? And so, I like to come from a place where I feel pretty secure. When I see the pattern, I see the price action, I can get a foothold, I can understand what's going on. So we've, on one hand, we've got an extremely oversold condition. But on the other hand, I don't think that, anything's really changed. I still think that we're in a bear market, and this is, really just a bear market rally. But as we've seen, these bear market rallies are a bear, where, they go up huge, where it goes from 335 all the way to 375. I mean, that's a 15% move. It goes from 315 to 350, another 10, 15% move. And so, it's been extraordinary. It's like I've been seeing this thing coming down, but the up moves are sharper than the down moves. And so it makes, it creates a lot of anxiety in my trading because, I like to get in something and, feel like I can hang around, but you can't hang around for very long. It gets going and then boom, it's right back in your face. Gets going and then boom, gets going, boom. So this is what this kind of environment has been. It's more of a trading environment where if you get something, you almost got to just take it. And so we're in this area where, it grabbed a foothold. And so it was a very logical place. If you look at, this is the daily, but the weekly is the same thing. So we've got this very logical place where it grabbed a foothold. And, now we could just get this, banging behavior, where we could just go, for an extraordinary, long time where, you could just go into this extraordinary choppiness. And that's by and large, what, I expect.
So you can see, 45, it's 1.3 million.
$1.3 million short.
So popped out a profit for 118,000 there.
So you can see how this is going crazy now. You can see how the market just going nuts.
I bet like $1.6 million on this position. I'm showing right now $23,000 gain.